Okay, what if I told you that you could turn just a couple of bucks into a fortune? And not over a lifetime, but in just 5 years. I know, it sounds completely impossible, right? But today we're gonna break down exactly how one guy, Grant Sabatier, did it. He basically reverse engineered financial freedom, starting from absolute rock bottom. So at 24 years old, this is what Grant Sabatier had in his bank account: $2.26. That's it. I mean, that's a financial low point that I'm pretty sure a lot of us can relate to. And for him, that was the wake-up call. And then you fast forward just 5 years. This was his net worth, over $1 million. The difference between those two numbers is it's staggering. And listen, this wasn't winning the lottery. It wasn't some inheritance from a long-lost uncle. It was a system. I mean, this is what's so wild. Going from totally broke to a millionaire happened between the ages of 24 and 30. He basically hit fast forward on the whole wealth building thing, squeezing decades of work into a tiny fraction of the time. So that's the big question, right? How on earth do you go from literally nothing to financial independence while you're still young enough to actually enjoy it? Well, it all starts by challenging that one piece of advice we've all been told our entire lives. Let's talk about the villain of our story, the good old 40-year plan. You know, work forever and retire when you're 65. Sabatier's whole argument is that this model, it's just fundamentally broken for the world we live in today. And here's the difference in a nutshell. The traditional path is a marathon, right? A slow 40-plus year slog where you save maybe 10 or 15%. The FIRE path, which stands for financial independence, retire early, is a flat-out sprint. You compress that timeline by saving a lot more. So what's so wrong with the old model? Well, first, it asks you to trade your best, most energetic years for comfort way, way down the road. Second, it doesn't really account for how much inflation can eat away at your savings. And maybe most important, it pretends that the job for life still exists. Let's be real, it doesn't. Okay, so if the old way is broken, what's the fix? Well, Sabatier boils his whole strategy down into a really clear 3-part formula. And it's designed for one thing and one thing only: building wealth fast. Here it is, the 3 pillars. Number 1, you've got to maximize what you earn. Number 2, you have to make the gap between what you earn and what you spend as wide as humanly possible. And number 3, you take all that money you saved and you make it work for you. It sounds simple, but how you do it is everything. Now, this is a huge mindset shift from most financial advice. You know how people say to cut back on your daily coffee to save money? Sabatier says that's thinking way too small. Sure, you can only cut so many expenses, but there's almost no limit to how much more money you can make. The focus has to be on offense, on earning, not just defense. And here's where the math gets absolutely crazy. Look at this. If you save a typical 10% of your income, it'll take you over 50 years to retire. 50! But if you can crank that savings rate up to 70%, that timeline collapses to just 8.5 years. This right here is the engine that makes the whole thing work. But it's really important to understand that this isn't just about piling up a mountain of cash. That's not the real goal. Sabatier's whole philosophy is about using money to buy something way more valuable. This is where we go from the how to the real why.
This is the finish line. Financial freedom isn't about being a billionaire. It's simply the point where the money your investments make is enough to pay your bills. That's it. It means work stops being something you have to do and becomes something you choose to do. And that's a world of difference.
And he makes this big, abstract idea super tangible. He calls it your freedom number. It's your target. The rule of thumb is to take whatever you spend in a year, multiply it by 25, and that's the amount of money you need invested. All of a sudden, this vague goal has a real number you can actually shoot for. And this quote, this is the heart of the whole thing. The point of this isn't just to get rich. It's to use money as a tool to buy back your time. You know, the one resource you can never, ever get more of. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great, but it also sounds huge. Like, where do you even start? Let's break it down into the very first simple steps you can take literally today. Here you go, your first moves. Step 1, do the quick math. Figure out what your freedom number is. Step 2, get brutally honest about your money. Track every dollar coming in and every dollar going out. And 3, take action. Find just one way, it can be big, it can be small, whatever, to increase your income this month. Because when you boil it all down, this entire journey, all the strategies and numbers, it all comes back to this one simple question. This isn't just about managing your money. It's about deciding what your life is worth and then building a plan to go live it. So, what's your answer?